Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Write this down.
Write that down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Hello and welcome to another Prediction Wednesday here. Write that down on Purple Daily and the OG edition over on the Score North YouTube channel and the Mackey and Judd podcast. The only shows in America that have the stones enough to admit that we are wrong in statistical form. You're not gonna find the grind and the work that goes into the spreadsheets, the weekly accountability sessions anywhere else in media here. This is where you find it, right here. And today's episode presented in part by Quick Trip, Judd, before we get to our accountabilities.
Sports Dad wrong a lot, but he's never wrong when he makes a stop at Quick Trip. And
right about this one. Yeah.
That's because, write this down, anything that you could possibly need, especially from a food standpoint, is at Quick Trip. So if you're going to work and you're like, I forgot my lunch, you know what? Sports Dad's got the answer. Stop in at Quick Trip, pick something up, and now you're saying, well, here's the problem, though, Judd. I don't have time. I'm too busy, and that's fine, too. Because if you've got that Quick Trip app on your phone, guess what? You can order on your phone, and they are going to bring it out to you. That's right, Quick Trip, making life as easy as possible. As you look at all of the delicious offerings, I'm telling you right now, write this down, folks. You can't go wrong at Quick Trip.
Also, North American Banking Company presenting Write That Down every single Wednesday. Just like they're presenting you a better banking experience. Minnesota-based banking company since 1998 with 6 locations across the Twin Cities: Maple Grove, Roseville, Shoreview, Hastings, Woodbury, and 50th in France. And it may not seem like it today, but spring is here officially in the metro area, which means it might be the perfect time for you to find a new home. And North American Banking Company is here to help with the mortgage process. They have experts that can help you get a home loan simple and stress-free. So whether you're looking for just a better checking and savings experience or something bigger like a new home, or you're financing something big, maybe a new business, you should talk to our friends at North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com/Mackey to learn more. That's nabankco.com/Mackey. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Write this down.
We also have a Field Yates mock to get to
Nice.
later in the show.
Oh, boy.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
Field Yates.
And he's doing a conference call, too, to back it up. I just saw a press release.
like a conference call with just like
Reporters.
so we could like jump on and ask
jump
Field
on that,
Yates questions.
Kuiper does 1 or 2. McShay used to do them. Yeah. So like you could follow up and say,
Field.
I don't agree with 24. What are you doing at 24?
Would you trade back? What are the slot cornerbacks looking like in the middle rounds? Field. Amazing. We should definitely jump on that call. So here's how it works. Every week, it's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody on the show. They must be quantifiable. Those are the only rules, really. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to participate, like our guy Giannis is about to from Greece, because Purple Daily is worldwide, clearly, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled for some time here in the upcoming weeks. So, all right, Joe, we'll start with you, as always. Not a bad week.
Hey.
Okay.
Not a bad week.
Okay.
We'll start with the bad here. You did say that Netflix for this summer would feature cornerbacks
I did.
in their docuseries.
We're back to quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're back to quarterbacks.
I think corners might be fun, though.
Lockdown, Netflix,
Yeah,
quarterback
yeah.
special. Sauce Gardner.
They are certainly a position filled with personality, right?
Yep, some flair on the field, off the field. You did, however, nail a couple of rule committee things here. You said the overtime rule for the regular season will be changed to match the postseason rule of both teams having an opportunity for one possession. And your specificity here is key, because if you would have said that it just matches purely because the regular season is going to stay 10 minutes and postseason is 15 minutes. Well, it's really 15 minutes and then however long it takes after that. But you worded this correctly, so you get the point.
Very savvy of me right there.
I feel like, should that be a touchdown?
Well, in my opinion, if the second one's a touchdown, why isn't this one a touchdown?
Yeah, you're probably right about that, because the second one is the NFL kickoff rule will be changed before next season. And to say that like after 1 year of the new kickoff, they're gonna start changing things again.
Right.
I think we're gonna give Judd touchdowns on both.
Oh
these.
wow, 2 touchdowns. That's huge.
Yeah, it's either touchdowns or no touchdowns, I would say.
It's a great start to the season for me.
I think they're touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, we kind of say going back, if there's a 25 to 30% chance or less of something happening, it's up for subjective touchdown discussion. So
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm going to go in here and I got to find this in the spreadsheet. Where's the kickoff thing?
Man, it's tough to rack up touchdowns in March and April.
Yeah, this is
I mean, this is
a
pad in the stats here, Judd.
2 touchdowns in one day for me at any point is huge. Any point, because ordinarily I'm checking her
Week 8
down.
or on April 2nd. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I'm checking it down, but in this case, no.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's been updated in the spreadsheet of glory. So, all right, a couple bad ones here for me. I said Kellen Mond, starting quarterback for the Brahmas,
The Brahmas.
would account for at least 2 touchdowns against the Renegades. And I don't think
What
he
happened?
accounted for any touchdowns.
Oh, tough day.
I did watch. I was flipping around, and I landed on that game for 2 offensive plays that Kellen Mond dropped back to pass twice and did not go well.
See the game?
Yeah.
As
See the game?
Zim was at home laughing hysterically in front of his huge television on his Kentucky farm.
I see him practice every
The
day.
game.
I said Deion Sanders would not be the head coach of Colorado in 2025. Kind of thought that maybe like the Cowboys or the Giants or somebody. Well, he just signed a massive contract extension to stay in Colorado.
Yep. But
I think there's some outs pretty soon. It's not quite like the Belichick contract where like Belichick has the buyout comes way down or something on his end in June, like 3 months after he signed it. So.
Yep.
But I did say that a portion of 15-yard penalties will become reviewable or fixable via replay assist, and that was announced yesterday. All right, listeners, Brian said, okay, so I'll give you this one, then I'll take you behind the curtain of how I had to find the answer to this. So Brian said KOC's next press conference, he'll get asked 5 or more questions, and 80% of them will be answered starting with yeah. He likes to acknowledge either the name of the reporter or yeah, and then goes into his answer. So Idiot Mackey here,
Okay.
you know, we've got our ears on the ground, and even if Judd or one of us is not at a press conference, we tend to consume. Like if Kevin O'Connell's going to speak for 20 or 30 minutes, like
We'll watch it.
I go watch the press conference.
Yep.
But I watched it from kind of a topical eye of, hey, like what is he saying that we can bring to the show and talk about and bring to the audience? And then this morning I realized, oh, that's right. Brian had a very specific prediction about the word at the beginning of each answer, and that's not how I was listening to the press conference yesterday. So I instead of watching it again and logging and wasting like 30 or 40 minutes, I found some AI website where you can plug in a YouTube link and get a full transcription. And he was definitely asked more than 5 questions.
Oh, yeah.
It was, and he answered a fair amount of them starting with yeah, but it was under 80%. Under
Okay.
80%. According to the AI transcriber.
That is
site that I-
marvelous that you could plug that into an AI mechanism.
See, people are all afraid that like AI is going to take all our jobs. I mean, maybe at some point, but let's make AI our friend in the meantime until.
Let's game
we
the
find
system
out.
with AI.
So
There it
then
is.
Declan said with his first UFL prediction of the year, the St. Louis Battlehawks would beat the Houston Roughnecks. And then you put in a caveat here, whenever they play in the event that there's a strike. They didn't strike. But yeah, it was like not a close game. It was like 34-6.
The Battlehawks are a juggernaut, man. I love
yeah.
that team.
It's weird. I was in St. Louis for 4 or 5 days last week. Didn't hear much people talking about the Battlehawks, but
Really?
No.
Seems like they're a
I
really
feel
good
like
team.
their attendance, isn't their attendance the best of all the UFL teams? Because there's still a
Potentially,
little
yeah.
craving for professional football in St.
Yeah.
Louis, and they don't have an NFL team. So with that here, all right, I'm at 58.8% completions. Judd, 52.5%. Listeners, 33.5%. Declan closing in on 30% here. Judd, you actually have 2 touchdowns, which leads the league. That will be updated and reflected in next week's graphics package. For career stats, Declan's still at the top of the completion percentage board, 36.5% completions. Judd, 35%. I'm at 34.5%. Listeners, 24%, but they lead with 60 career touchdowns. So those are your statistics here. The only show that actually keeps track of those statistics, mind you. All right, I think we're going like across a large body of water here. We're gonna bring our guy in. Are you in Greece, Giannis?
Yes, I'm in Greece, in
What time?
Athens, particularly.
In Athens. What time is it there right now?
It's 5:30 in the evening right now.
Okay.
We have
So
8 hours difference.
are we keeping you from dinner right now?
No. I just finished working. I'm at the office right now,
Okay.
just to make this, and I will
Just
go home.
just grinding at the office, doing predictions on an
Yes.
American football podcast on YouTube. So give us your backstory. How did you become a Minnesota Vikings fan?
Okay. Everything started in 2017. Until then, I hadn't watched a single game of football in my life. I knew about Brady, a little bit about Patriots. I have watched, for some reason, some highlights of the 1 yard short Super Bowl game. I don't remember why. And then the cable company that I have subscribed, they broadcasted Fox Sports.
Okay.
So I decided that I have to watch what is this game and why the Americans love it so much. And then the addiction started. For me, it was something very different. And all this strategy, all this action, for me, it was fantastic. Since then, I decided that I have to watch the league. And in order to have some more fun, I had to find a team to support. The only connection that I had with the Vikings is that I had watched How I Met Your Mother. As you know, one of the characters,
Kevin James.
Awesome.
yeah, one of the characters is from Minnesota, and he's a fan of the Vikings, and that was the starting point. I didn't want to support a team that has an animal or a bird as
Yeah,
a
you're
logo.
not. You don't be a Patriots fan out of the gate. or
I
something.
didn't want to be so easy. I wanted to have something to support that. It was not the best team at the time. To be more fun. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know anything of the history of the team. Nothing at all. I found out later all the tragedy and the anxiety of every year, the hope, and then the miserable times. And since then, I decided that I will support the Vikings. I like the colors very much. Purple and
Yeah.
gold is fantastic mix. I like the logo. I am European. Vikings are more European than
Wow.
anything else.
It's amazing,
So,
man.
The problem is that from this day, I didn't believe that time that I would be so addicted to the team. I watch every day the news. I watch all the games that are early Sunday because the other games are in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I watch you every day. You are my daily entertainment.
Wow.
So I'm very addicted to the team and the game in general.
That's incredible. If we hear a lot of fans who are maybe Minnesota based or American, and it's like, how'd you get hooked on the team? In 1998 season, 2009, or I was born in Minnesota, my family moved away, or I still whatever it is.
I didn't even
and-
know where Minnesota is on the map. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, and in the case of Giannis, he was looking to scratch an American football itch and combined it with a viewing of How I Met Your Mother, Judd, which is one of the best origin stories, I feel like.
So what was your feeling when you discovered the angst that was here, like what they had been through as far as
It was too
like
late.
you picked this it was too late, so you're done, like now you're just stuck.
I have a question. Yes, that's right. I have a question for you. How do you handle all this hope and pain every year? I support this team for 8 years, and it's difficult for me. And I'm not from there. It's more easier for me to handle it. How do you do it?
That's why that this show is a family, a community. Because the only way to do it is to have support and a couple of beers as well. Yes, that definitely helps. But it's the support of the entire show because, there is it. The problem is the team is often really good.
Yes.
So that's the difficult thing.
I found this later. And if imagine that my first year was the 27th year with the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah.
The team was great. They went to the NFC Championship, and I said to myself, "You did the right choice. You have found the right team." Okay.
Yep, and
Not so
they're
much.
still trying to get back to that level. Well, let's do this.
Yes.
Let's start with Giannis.
Okay.
We'll do 3 predictions. You make your first one, and then
I
we'll
have
go
mine.
around the room here.
I have my notebook here.
Love it, dude. Giannis and
I'm,
Judd with their
prepared.
handwritten
Yes.
predictions here.
Oh yeah.
So for my first prediction, it will be a very generic one. I believe that all the NFC North teams this season will have at least 7 wins at the end of the regular season.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Bears and the Vikings are at the bottom at kind of an 8.5 over under right now.
Write
So,
this down.
all right, Judd.
I have already played some money to overrate.
I think Giannis loves to pull a little scratch on American football. Is what
you
it
are
sounds
all
like.
in, man. You're like in
I
a
watch
deep
you every
end of
day.
pool.
Yes.
Love it.
Amazing. All right, Judd.
Write this down.
All right. In light of the fact that the league is still trying to get more and more kickoff returns, write this down. The Vikings will have at least 1 kickoff return for a touchdown in 2025.
Yeah, all right,
in the season, I should say, just in case it happens in the January game, the 2025 season.
Yeah, I think that's a safety net for. We made that alteration a while back.
I just don't trust my friends on this show to necessarily, like, if it comes in like a January 3rd game. You said 2025. So anyway, I think they're going to get a touchdown. I think we are going to start to see a little bit more kickoff returns for touchdowns, just because the incentive is there now to return the kickoff.
Yeah, the league wants it to happen. All right, I'm going to go on the record with this one. Oh, sorry, my bad. Go ahead, Dex. I'm really excited.
If I got sniped too, I'd be more upset if I got sniped.
You're going to snipe me now. I know it.
On NFL Takes, we talked about the Christmas game, so write this down. The Vikings will play a Christmas and or a Thanksgiving game in 2025.
How about both? Let's get both holidays. So Judd doesn't have to worry about any sort of family interactions that he doesn't want the awkward small talk.
The Christmas Day game here might be nice.
Be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Write this down.
Sorry, gotta go.
Sorry, honey. Unavailable till 2026.
Yep. See you later. Bye.
Okay, write this down. I believe in the Purple Daily anonymous tip line. So much so that I'm going to say this. Write this down. The Vikings will sign Asante Samuel Jr. before week 1. I'll just say. Before week 1. I believe in our spies on the ground. I believe in all of the details that were relayed to us in Fort Lauderdale last week. It all adds up. You'd then have Asante Samuel Jr., Byron Murphy Jr., and Isaiah Rodgers as your 3 top cornerbacks, with Mekhi Blackman having to earn his way in, which makes a lot more sense.
And
it all adds up.
KO at the breakfast presser, so coy. Oh yeah, our room and cornerbacks now, it's pretty full. We're in great shape there.
So full. Oh yeah.
So full.
It's
too
packed,
full?
really.
Too full, KO? I don't know about that.
We love our quarterback room, too. It's perfectly fine as it is, as Kwesi said, with just 2 guys in it. I don't know if there's room for a 3rd. We'll see.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Giannis for second prediction.
Okay, you gave me a very good pass for quarterback 2 prediction. I heard the interview of Kwesi last week saying that the room is full. So I believe that they have already agreed with someone. And I believe that the latest 3 days after the close of the comp pick situation, they will have announced a new quarterback for the Vikings.
Okay, so 3 days, and I think it's like April 29th or something, right?
I don't know.
But you're saying within 3 days after that date, they will have a quarterback. Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite part about this now, too, is that 8 years ago, Giannis had no clue about American football. And now he's taking time out of his workday to jump on a daily Vikings podcast, spitting knowledge about comp pick formula dates. I mean, this is like the deepest 8-year dive starting from zero where you can get to. I'm pretty impressed by this.
If I may, what I loved at the game is that the salary cap. For me, it's a fantastic idea to have specific money to spend for everybody the same money. This is fantastic for me.
Yeah, unlike some of the European soccer leagues, where like the English Premier League, there's 20 teams in it, and a few get relegated, and there's no cap. So you get the same 7 or 8 teams are always at the top of the table. They call it a table, Judd, in Europe.
Oh, I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware. But we have had some very disappointing teams. The decline of Man U is one of the great stories out there.
Totally.
It is kind of crazy.
It's a huge decline. It's embarrassing. And here's my next, write that down.
Write this down.
The Vikings will be scheduled for 2 or more Sunday night games in 2025 and 4 or more primetime games. So it's a parlay. So 2 or more Sunday night games, Declan, and overall 4 or more primetime games.
And this is on the original schedule. This does not include flexes.
Correct. Yes. This is when the schedule comes out. And I believe that you can max out on primetime games at 6. But I think the interest in McCarthy, and again, when you go through the schedule itself, there are some nice matchups. And a year ago, if you guys recall, in the initial schedule, when it came out, the Packers games were both like noon games.
Yeah.
That ain't happening again.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, come on. And now
they flexed one, but that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, they'll definitely throw one of those into a prime
Write
time.
this down.
It's a good schedule.
All right, the Dexter.
All right, write this down. The Vikings' first draft pick this year will be a defensive player.
Okay.
It'll be a defensive player with their first pick in the 2025 class, whether that's at 24 or moved back or moved up. Huh? No. At the first pick will be a defensive player. Write it down.
I liked our exercise yesterday, though, just exploring the space of a wide receiver that falls into your lap. That you maybe don't go in planning to draft a wide receiver, but, here's this Missouri kid that we had as the 14th best player on the big board, best player available, which they are in a spot to do
Write this down.
the BPA thing. So, yeah, KOC in that aforementioned press conference talked about just the 1A, 1B from Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay and how they think they now have that with Jordan Mason coming in. So I don't know what the distribution's going to look like in carries to start the season. I don't know what Aaron Jones has left in the tank at age 30. I think he still has something. But write this down. I do know that Jordan Mason will eclipse 1,000 rushing yards for the Vikings this season.
Nice.
Jordan Mason, I don't know, maybe the Vikings will be so run heavy that they both flirt with 1,000 yards. But I'm going to say Jordan Mason goes over 1,000 yards in his first year with the Vikings.
Write this down.
All right, Giannis, your third and final prediction.
Okay, so I have a prediction for Jordan Addison for his off-field performance. I believe that he will surprise everybody this year, and he will be not involved in any police-involved incident until the training camp.
Well, hold on a second. Yeah. Hold on, Giannis. You get the flag for that. I got to undo it. There you go. It wasn't
Thank
storage.
you very much.
Now it's out. There you go.
Hey, 10-2 on the wheel.
This is great.
Stay right at the speed limits, okay?
A
No alcoholic beverages.
A Vikings fan in Greece basically doing write that downs on comp picks and off the field trouble for players is probably my all-time write that down moment. I love it.
Very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, Giannis, you know how this goes if you are a daily viewer now. You get this open platform here, this life-changing
Worldwide
platform that you have right now. Is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped you get to this?
I have a few, in fact. I have written them down. So, first of all, my wife, because she tolerates my addiction. She can't understand it, of course, but she tolerates it. I have two little things to say. When she shows that she sees that I'm watching you, she always says, "You are listening to the Americans again." That's the one. And the second one, a few days ago, caught me watching some wild highlights, and she told me,
wow.
"Don't tell me that you are going to watch hockey now."
Giannis
Oh,
on
come
Judd's
on,
hockey
Giannis.
show. Let's go.
Come on in, man.
No,
Plenty of
that's
room at JHS for you.
entertainment only. Just
Come
I can't
on.
understand any more addictions. So my kids, of course, and two colleagues and friends. The one is Kostas. I have dragged him in the NFL in order to have someone to discuss about the game because I don't have anyone else. And Thanasis, who has no idea about the game, but he's sitting just next to me and he's listening to me talking about things that he doesn't understand.
Wait, we
And
have
of
a
course, you
Giannis and a Thanasis. So
and Kostas.
is your last name also Antetokounmpo here? Is it like the full family? Right? Isn't that Giannis's brother on the Bucks? His name is Thanasis,
I
right?
don't
I'm
have
pretty
an Alexis to thank, so no.
Yes.
And
Amazing.
of
Well,
course
hey,
you.
well, thank
Thank
you
you.
for the kind words. Good luck with your predictions,
Thank you very
and
much.
stay in touch with us, Giannis. All right.
Of course. Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
very
We'll let
much.
him get home from work. It's time to punch out there. 5:30
Vent
out
line
there in
though.
Greece.
He needs to call in on a vent line next year. I mean, that's too good. That
It
is
is
awesome.
It's kind of. I think we both come from Judd and I have been doing shows together for 11 years, and Dex has been a part of like mostly half of that, I would say. But a lot of our careers were local newspaper for you, and then local radio for me, and then a little bit of local TV here and there.
Yep.
Where your distribution for your content and your community is local, like it's
Right.
you're transmitting a radio signal in the Twin Cities,
Right.
or you're distributing newspapers in the Twin Cities. And so, like, obviously, we know how powerful the Vikings are and where they are in the pecking order. It's Vikings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then other teams below that locally. What I didn't realize until we shifted everything we did about 5 years ago to podcast and YouTube is, on top of how passionate the Minnesota-based Vikings fans are, how widespread the fan base is across the United States and internationally. That's the
God,
part
yeah.
that's kind of blown my mind over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, you know what? I first realized that a little bit back at the Strib when Chip and I did AccessVikings.com.
AccessVikings.com.
And we started and we started to get some notes from around the country at times overseas, and it's like, hold on a second here. But yeah, the thirst for, well, first of all, football, but second of all, the Vikings is just enormous. So, but it's great. Like, that's 2017. He adopts a team. He looks at the Vikings and says, "Oh man, that team's really good right now. That team's good." And he gets into them, and then he gets hooked, and then he goes back and looks at their history, and he's like, "What have I done to myself?" That's a great story.
It's a great origin story. We'll make our final predictions here. We'll get to a Field Yates mock as well. The 2025 Purple Daily Draft Party, which is an annual celebration of you guys, the fans of this football team, of this podcast, and it'll be a fun night just to see what they do. But we're going to be talking a lot about what they've already done that night, too, in free agency. And so we got confirmation. Our guy Doogie's going to be out there, the Scoop Sofa this year, with Tyler Fornes also providing draft analysis. It'll be Doogie's debut at the draft party, but you can get tickets at scorenorth.com/draft. It's Thursday, April 24th, 7 p.m. We're back at the Fillmore in Minneapolis. I want to mention that Element Hotel, literally like right next door, is providing a 15% room rate discount. Scorenorth.com/element to get a 15% room rate discount. So a shout out to them, a shout out to Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, the presenting sponsor of the 2025 Purple Daily Draft Party. 2 Men in a Junk Truck, Roku, Park Dental, Bricksworth, Continental Diamond, all of the partners that help us put this show on for all of you. We're looking forward to it in a few weeks here. Speaking of 2 Men in a Junk Truck or 2 Men in a Truck, they got a couple different wings to help whatever you need, Dex.
That's right. If you're beginning that moving process, which is one of the most stressful things you can do, don't do that. Instead, call 2 Men in a Truck. They're going to help you get all that stuff taken care of for you. You can book an appointment with a friendly team at 2 Men in a Junk Truck. Let those pros tackle that stress. What they quote is what you pay, no hidden fees or service charges. They want to simplify that process for you. Go to 2menandatruck.com to find a location near you. Make that move a lot easier, whether you're a new Vikings free agent or you're just in the Twin Cities or the Midwest. 2 Men in a Truck can help make that move a lot more easier.
Will Fries is like, oh, yeah. Okay,
that's it.
Write that down. What was that website?
Ryan Kelly. Ryan, let's
gonna
drive a
smile.
truck. Let's drive the truck. Yeah.
Those guys
I'm not
look
gonna
like
go anywhere with you.
Those guys both look like they can tip back a craft beer as well. If you had like the poster children on the roster for who might be into an IPA, Black Stack Brewing, which you can find all over the state of Minnesota, from Grand Marais down to Rochester, all the way up to the edges by Fargo, and then expanded distribution into Wisconsin, Nebraska, and South Dakota. During the season, Black Stack available inside the stadium as well for games. This is world-renowned craft beer. Literally, Black Stack is known all across Europe, all across the United States for their quality craft beer. You can find out what they're up to, blackstackbrewing.com. There's a where to buy page too, so you can find out exactly where specifically to buy Black Stack. And then the second largest tap room in the state of Minnesota, which if you haven't stopped by in St. Paul, it's very much worth your visit.
Write this down.
All right, Judd, what's your final prediction?
All right. Non-Vikings prediction, but I was going to make this a week ago, and it got bumped. So, write this down. Jameis Winston will start no fewer than 5 games for the Giants in 2025 in the season. I think Russ is either going to get hurt, he's going to get benched. Jameis starting games in that city for that team is too much fun. So I say it's 5 or more games, and he is going to be a quote machine there, which is going to be perfect.
Also, I think people are really quick just because the Giants have just gotten hammered, rightfully so, for the downfall of their franchise. So people are really quick to just write Brian Daboll off as a lame duck coach and he's going to get fired. But, dude, Brian Daboll, the work he did to turn Josh Allen into the best version of Josh Allen, and the work he did to pump up Daniel Jones to whatever his ceiling was 2 years ago. I'm curious to see. Like, Jameis might at this point, because he's like 30, right? He might be more of a fully formed product at this point. Right. But I am curious if Brian Daboll can just massage the player that is Jameis Winston a little bit.
It would be so much fun.
And that city, you're right. It would be
the tabloids.
Nuclear, man.
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
All right, one more from me. Vikings have 4 picks as of now for this year's draft. Write this down. They will make at least 6 picks in this year's draft. At least 6 picks in this year's draft. Write it down. Some trade backs, feels inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, one trade back would get you. If you traded back from 24, I think you would almost certainly pick up 2 or 3 extra ones. So, all right, write this down here.
Write this down.
This weekend in the UFL.
Oh, here we go.
What do we got, baby?
Here we go.
I'm going to give you.
Their website's a little better now. It's not great.
I can't do that. I'm on the ESPN. The ESPN just has like a clean scoreboard, or like it scores with odds and different things,
It's a little better.
So you got the Friday night game on Fox, the Saturday game on, I think ABC is carrying is it a primetime game on Saturday? So ABC is counter-programming the Final Four with a Showboats Defenders game. I don't know how many people are going to, maybe there's a blowout. So here's what's going to happen. The DC Defenders will beat I don't even know where they're from. The Memphis Showboats?
Memphis, yeah.
Is it the Memphis Showboats?
That is exactly right.
The DC Defenders will beat the Memphis Showboats. I will say the spread is a -8 for the Defenders.
Okay.
They're going to double that at least. I'm looking for a touchdown here.
Oh, wow.
It's a blowout. The Defenders by at least 16 points over the Showboats.
So what?
And America will be watching because the Final Four.
So what makes you think this? Like go through the strategies, the quarterbacks, the personnel.
Yeah,
like
for
3-4 defense by the Showboats. 4-3.
I think it's the Defenders. I mean,
who's their quarterback, Phil?
Well, they don't have one because all they care about is defense. They're the Defenders. They're the only team in the UFL that doesn't have a quarterback, Judd. They just run Wildcat. They alternate defensive.
Jordan Tayamu from Ole Miss.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
He's there.
We are now placing.
Well, he's on their quarterback. He's on their roster. I have no idea if he's QB1. I'm assuming he's QB1.
Yeah. But they're gonna lock them down. The Defenders.
You are predicting this team is gonna hammer this team.
That's right. It is funny to watch like some of these rosters though. It's players just grinding, hoping to Hoping to get to a training camp in July.
This is my plan. Put, again, practice squad guys, lend them to these teams. It'd be more fun to watch.
Yeah, we kind of talked about, because the NBA has the summer league, and the summer league, it's like 2 months before the actual camps start. It's because the summer league is usually throughout the month of July.
Yep.
And then in like September, the NBA training camps start. And I believe the parameters for summer league are 2 years of experience or less, or maybe 3. But you have to be like once you get to a certain point, Luka Garza no longer qualifies because he's like 4 years into his NBA career.
Sure.
But the summer league becomes a showcase for young players that are even first-round picks. Like Rob Dillingham was playing summer league, shooting 15 times a game. Mm-hmm. It's a place where you can see fringe roster players like maybe Naz Reid 6 years ago, and it gives them a chance to make a team. But it's also a breeding ground for like rumors and potential trades and transactions.
It's like the combine.
Yes.
But with games being played, which is great.
And it all kind of happens. The only thing I would tweak is it happens after the free agency period is really hot and heavy. So I think what would be great is if you could do the draft in late June for the NBA and then do summer league before free agency so that summer league could be a tampering breeding ground, and you'd get like a month and a half of rumors and development. So imagine in the NFL, I know you've got the combine kind of acts as this already, but if you had like a summer league, and I don't know if the UFL would provide, because the UFL is a spring league, but yeah, I mean, if there was a way for, man, like I don't know if you'd ever put your first round picks out there because the risk of them getting hurt.
No, I'm saying practice squad guys,
but like Dwight McLaughlin or something.
Yeah. There
would
has
it get
to be
more
something,
people to watch?
right?
Yeah.
Well, yes, I would actually if you sprinkled like let's say 5 Vikings into the league, there are certain games I'd probably watch. That I don't watch now, or that I just watch for like 2 seconds.
And isn't it nice about the UFL? They're just on Fox, ABC, FS1, ESPN. Isn't that nice? You just know where they are. Isn't that kind of kind? You just know they're on network TV.
Dude. You know what? You know what? 12-61 last night, baby. I watched an 8-3 win. Juggernaut. I don't know what you guys have been complaining about.
I know where Fox, ABC, and ESPN are.
It is crazy, though, that even like the minor league, the football minor, ESPN says, hey, baseball, 35-year relationship.
Peace out.
Yeah, we're kind of done with this. I guess maybe at a reduced price. But that same network is like, minor league football? Hell yes. Let's put it on, put it on ABC and counter program the Final Four.
They have cornhole on. They have cornhole on for like 3 hours a day during random ports.
How close are the ratings for those 2 events on Saturday?
For Final Four versus UFL?
I'm not saying
Final Four blows it away, right?
A lot, yeah.
I'm not saying football. Yeah, I don't know. It blows it away. I'm curious about that. Basketball now, like 10 years ago, 100% kills it. I don't know now, man.
I think the real question would be a UFL game compared to like a Fox primetime baseball game. Sure. So what if I did like Sunday night baseball? Let's do that. Sunday night baseball ratings. The 2024 campaign averaged 1.5 million viewers.
Okay.
And if we did like UFL 2024 TV ratings.
Oh my God.
I'm just curious. I don't know if we're going to get an answer.
Oh, you should know.
Right off the top here. It says the UFL reached 32 million unique viewers, but that's like a bloated number. So the average Sunday night baseball game did 1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, I'm going to have to dig through all this.
It would be interesting, though.
Okay, here it is. The average UFL game was a tick under 900,000 viewers per game. The average Sunday Night Baseball game was 1.5 million. So Sunday Night Baseball still outdrew, but not by much, by 50%.
Yes. So the best baseball has to offer
the prime baseball featured
this made-up league that has very few sustainable players like who have a future.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Oh boy,
Purple Daily just dumping on baseball here.
That started with Declan.
Field Yates has a mock.
I want a mock.
And this one's presented by a new partner here. So Neos Elite Performance. Tell us about this, Judd.
I certainly will. If you are active and trying to get an edge in life, the experts at Neos Elite Performance can help you. Chronic pain slowing you down. Eric Sugarman, our longtime friend, longtime National Football League trainer as well, brings you Neos Elite cutting edge regenerative medicine and cellular IV therapy designed to get you going again. And here's the most important part, folks, without invasive procedures. This is white glove service delivered to your home. No trips to the doctors or elsewhere. You stay home. The team at Neos comes to you. They take care of your problems. Let's say it's back or knee pain that are slowing you down. Stop the suffering. Neos' therapy is designed to reduce pain, restore function, and get you back to doing what you love. No surgery, no downtime, just results. Schedule now at neoselite.com. That's Neos Elite.com. Again, white glove, they come to your house, but most of all, you're going to feel great again. So if you're a athlete from way back and you're now slowed down, Neos is going to help you with that, get you back on your feet, get you to feeling great.
Shug, man.
Eric Sugarman, yeah. I talked to him about this. It's actually really intriguing. Cellular therapy, so they've basically found how the cells operate, and there is, for lack of a better explanation, there is a restorative power. There is a cell that carries information that they have found that helps you out. But I mean, there's a lot of folks, I'm sure, that watch our show right now who got hurt in high school or something, knee problems, shoulder problems. These folks are going to help you out with that.
Yeah, a long time NFL trainer that is helping to run this operation. And then shout out to Standard Heating and Air Conditioning as well, Dex.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't DIY any of the furnace or HVAC needs. Just call Standard instead. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning can help you out with that. I know there's snow on the ground here in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities here on April 2nd, but eventually that snow will melt, and eventually you will have to deal with those AC needs. And if there's any problems with those air conditioning needs, Standard Heating can help you out with that. They're gonna take care of you. Go to standardheating.com. You can also join their Smart Club, which gives you discounted repairs plus priority scheduling. Plus, they're a proud sponsor, the presenting sponsor of the Purple Daily Draft Party. So go to standardheating.com to learn more.
I want a mock.
Okay, boys. Field Yates from ESPN has a 2-round mock draft, and he has a handful of trades here too.
Nice.
So I'll be honest, I'm opening this for the first time. I've had the link saved. I want to go through this with you guys, and we can be shocked. We can be aghast all at the same time. He's got Cam Ward going number 1 to the Titans, Abdul Carter number 2 to the Browns, Shedeur Sanders 3 to the Giants, Travis Hunter 4 to the Patriots. So very chalky up to this point. Mm-hmm. He's got Ashton Ginty to the Raiders at 6. And then Walter Nolan, 11th to the Niners. That's about the highest we've seen him go. The defensive tackle from Ole Mississippi. And we scrolled up. Gray Zabel, the North Dakota State offensive lineman, to the Bengals at 17.
Ooh, boy.
Interesting.
He's really climbing up the board.
And then let's get Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina, 20 to the Broncos. So 2 running backs in the top 20. Jackson Dart, quarterback, Ole Miss, to the Steelers at 21.
This is the new one. This is the one I'm seeing now. I'm really intrigued by that. What does that mean then? Because to me, if you're going to take Jackson Dart at 21, you do not sign Rodgers, right? You don't sign him probably, I don't think.
And is it possible Rodgers at this point would just wait until after the draft? Could this be part of Rodgers' math, which is let's smoke out the Steelers?
I told you before, I would not be surprised if he is available and hinting at retirement on July 1st.
I think he'd really like to be available in August for the Vikings.
Yes.
To me, it kind of feels like Vikings are choice number 1, retirement might be choice number 2, and then Steelers, we'll see.
And as Kevin O'Connell said a couple of days ago, he made it very clear that Aaron Rodgers called him.
Yeah, he was kind of subtle about it, but he said, like, when a player like that reaches out to you.
Right. He was subtle, but he wasn't subtle. He wanted you to know I didn't make the call.
Yeah, without being a dick, I guess.
No, he was very respectful. They've been very respectful about this with Aaron.
And then The Vikings at 24, sticking and picking according to Field Yates. Cornerback out of Texas, Jahdae Barron.
I want a mock.
There's a name that came up yesterday with Forno because he's one of the most frequently mocked players to the Vikings. And Forno and others have kind of said he's a cornerback, but he might be more of like a hybrid safety who can play some cornerback, which those type of guys are perfect for the Flores system. Field Yates writes, the Vikings spent big to upgrade the defensive interior, but they also have to ensure the secondary doesn't drop off too much in 2025. The cornerback room lost Stephon Gilmore and Shaq Griffin. And Byron Murphy Jr., who returned on a new deal, is a better fit in the slot. Barron could claim one of the starting outside spots. He's one of the most instinctive players in the entire class, showing an ability to find the football from any alignment. His versatility would surely appeal to Brian Flores, and he posted 5 interceptions and 10 pass breakups for the Longhorns in 2024.
Now, I don't fault Field at all about this, but I do have a question. If our spies are correct, if Asante Samuel signed, sealed, and everything but delivered to the Vikings, does this impact the draft? I think you are more... The one thing is, the more I think about it, if that is a done deal, you're more likely even more so to trade back, right?
I mean, yeah, or you're just more entrenched in best player available as someone. I think it'd be if there's a crazy value that falls to you. But to your question, so you're saying Asante Samuel Jr. has agreed, but let's you won't know until after the draft,
right?
Officially,
you have a wink,
right,
with him.
Hey, you can go to the clubs in Fort Lauderdale. You can wear your little Vikings hat.
In fact, we'll give you the Vikings hat.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's a hat. Wear the hat.
In which case, you'd have a 25, soon-to-be 26-year-old, or 24, soon-to-be. I think he's turning 25, Asante Samuel Jr.
Right. He's certainly not old.
One of the youngest free agents you'll ever find.
Yep.
And then you'd have Byron Murphy Jr. at 27, who just turned 27. Under long-term contract. Mekhi Blackman, who's coming off an injury, but he's only 26.
And don't forget.
And then Isaiah Rodgers, who's
Flores'
27. You would then... Now you'd have a crowded cornerback room with a couple guys, even like Dwight McGlothern they like as an undrafted, priority undrafted guy last year. So, yes, if you do have a wink, nod with Asante Samuel Jr., I think it makes it very unlikely you would draft a cornerback in the first round. But...
Unless you think
it should be BPA.
Right. Unless Barron falls to you and you just think that he's an elite talent. But if
or he's a safety for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very
I want a mock.
The Asante Samuel Jr. news really throws an interesting dynamic into these conversations. And that news broke right here Friday.
I love how it's news
Purple
now. It's
Daily.
great. It's being aggregated all over the internet.
Okay. Rule of thumb. Once you see something enough, it's news.
It's news. Yeah, it's great. The Purple Daily Anonymous tip line. Almost
news.
Undefeated, man. It's I will say the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line, I think, has a higher completion percentage than any of us did on Write That Down last year. So we can go back and do some tracking.
We laughed at certain tips that all proved to be right.
Herbert.
Yeah. Well, we laughed too. We're like, okay, this is funny, but let's read it. But no.
Contract's not tradable.
I love it. The contract's not tradable. As we see Russell Wilson, the Broncos ate like $1 billion in dead cap and still made the playoffs.
Kirk.
Falcons.
They can't. Nothing they can do about this. They're just no. You can't do anything. And Kirk, of course, is going to go where? He's going to go to Cleveland because that's now I buy that 100%.
It's going to be great. I think he's still going to force them to cut him though.
Oh yeah,
because he could sit there and say, "Nope, no trade." Are they really going to ride this out with him?
It looks like he has quit communicating with them completely.
It's hilarious. Passive aggressive Kirk, the best Kirk. All right, we got to run here. Purple Daily. We'll have the OG edition of Write That Down on the Score North YouTube channel, and we've got Wolves stuff all over the place. If you're a Timberwolves fan, we're gonna have 2 episodes of Flagrant Howls recapping one of the great regular season games in franchise history last night, and also some major breaking ownership news as well. So Wolves fans who overlap as Vikings fans, this is a good day for you across the Score North podcast. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. See ya.